So this is a self-flying camera, flies completely by itself. It takes off from the palm of your hand, has different flight modes, some for epic cinematic shots and others that will track you and follow you wherever you go, and it folds away to fit in your pocket. Is this the future of solo filmmaking or just another pointless gimmick? Let's find out. So today I have come to this incredible location here in the southwest of England where I'm going to be attempting to shoot some cinematic solo B-roll using this tiny drone. This is the HoverAir X1, which they're calling a self-flying camera, because this is not your normal drone. No remote control needed to fly this thing, flies completely by itself. My aim for today is to capture enough footage using just this tiny drone to create a short cinematic sequence with music, color grading and sound effects that I'll show you at the end of this video. I want to find out exactly what this thing is capable of when it comes to solo filmmaking. Now, full disclosure, HoverAir did send me this to test, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to push this thing to its limits and show you the results. But before I do that, let me just quickly show you how this thing works. Okay, so first things first, this thing is tiny. It easily fits in my jacket pocket. It's smaller than my phone when folded, weighs just 125 grams, shoots in 2.7K in both landscape and vertical video, as well as takes still images. Now, what's great about this drone is that it's so easy to use. No flying experience needed for this. It only has two buttons, one to power it on and one to select your flight mode. There are 5 flight presets to choose from, as well as a custom mode. There's hover mode. Think of this a bit like a flying tripod. The drone will hover in a fixed position and then track your movements. Great for panning shots. We have zoom out, where the drone flies away and lifts up, mimicking a crane shot. There's follow mode. In this mode, the drone will lock on and track you from behind. Orbit mode, a particular favorite of mine, this one. We've got bird's eye mode, where the drone will shoot a top-down shot from directly above. And we have a custom mode, where the drone will follow you from behind, the side, as well as take still images. Now, the way this thing works is that you unfold it and lay it on the palm of your hand like this, because this is where it will take off and land. Now, you would never normally do this with a drone because the propellers would spin and just cut your fingers off, but these propellers are enclosed in this cage, making it much safer. You then press and hold the power button for 3 seconds to power it on. You then select your flight mode, but let's just go with the default for now. Press the power button again, and off it goes. The drone will now follow you wherever you go. Now, here's the best bit. Once you've captured your shot, you just hold your hand out like this, and the drone knows to land on the palm of your hand. You can then fold it away, put it in your pocket, and move on to the next shot. Now, for me, the key to this sequence is capturing a good mix of shots and trying to link one shot to another so that it looks like it's been shot with multiple cameras. So for the first shot, I had the drone track me from behind as I walked towards this old derelict building. Then when I got inside the building, I reset the drone and captured another shot, this time in bird's eye mode, and captured a shot looking down as I entered the building. Now, there's no roof on this building, so I was able to send it 50 feet in the air for a much more epic shot. The idea being that I can now cut from the first shot to the second shot for a much more seamless edit. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because although you don't need an app to fly this drone, there is an app that's available for free that allows you to connect to the drone and change all of its settings. For example, by default in bird's eye mode, the drone will just fly straight up, but by using the app, I can change the settings to add a rotation to this shot, which personally I think looks way better than the default. We get a much more dynamic shot, so much more interesting. And you can change the parameters of all the flight modes, which instantly opens up a whole world of creative possibilities. For example, in follow mode, you can not only change the distance that the drone will follow you from, but also the altitude. So the drone could track you from low to the ground, maybe at eye level, or shot from a high altitude, giving it almost a video game feel to your shot. Also, as well as being able to track you from behind, the drone can also track you from the front. You just need to be careful that you don't crash into anything as you go, but so far, it seems to be doing really well at not hitting things. I tried walking between trees to see if it would still follow me. I tried squeezing it through tighter spaces to see if it would crash, but the drone just kept following me. So I thought, you know what, let's really put this thing to the test. Let's see if I can outrun this drone by zigzagging in and out of these trees. Surely the drone wouldn't be able to stay with me, but to my surprise, the drone did an incredible job of tracking me through these trees, which, if I'm honest, annoyed me a little bit because I really wanted to outrun the drone. So I took things a little bit more serious. You know when I'm serious because I take my backpack off. Now, I'm not the fastest runner in the world and I'm wearing bulky hiking boots on uneven ground, or at least that's my excuse, but I honestly could not outrun this drone, even when weaving through the trees. But I'm not one to give up that easily, so I thought I'd have one final stab at outrunning the drone. Almost twisted my ankle in the process, and I kid you not, the only thing that stopped this drone was crashing it into a tree. It's absolutely fine, by the way. This thing can handle a beating, and it's these propellers inside the cage that really help with this. It just kind of ricochets off anything it hits. It's a bit like the action camera of the drone world. Okay, so I've captured plenty of follow shots, tracking from behind, from the front, close up, further away. Don't need any more of those. Now, I really want to capture an orbit shot using this drone, but I'm gonna save it until I get to the top of these rocks. I think if I stand on the top of these rocks and look out at this incredible view whilst the drone orbits around me, I think that's going to make an epic shot. So I'm going to save the best to last and do my orbit from up there. So let's try a zoom out shot. Now, I found what looks like the perfect location to shoot this. Now, my plan was to walk across the tree whilst the drone zoomed out, but that didn't quite go to plan. Oh, we've hit a tree. We've hit a tree. Uh-oh. It was fine. It got tangled in the branches and then fell from the sky and hit the ground. So I tried the shot again, only this time I stood still and the shot came out much better. Now, as well as being able to use the app to change all of your flight presets, you can also use the app as a remote control to fly the drone manually. So let's see what we can capture. The app can not only be used as a remote, but it also gives you a live feed to the drone so you can see exactly what you're filming, adjust your framing and composition, start and stop recording, and having this feature really helps you get a good range of shots. Shooting manually will also enable you to capture shots that just aren't possible using the presets, like this shot here, for example, where the drone pushes forward and then rises up, or this shot here that pushes forward as I walk through the frame and then continues pushing forward through the trees. With all of these shots, you can of course add speed ramps to help make them look a bit more interesting and faster paced. Adding music and sound effects will also help with this, but let's save the main editing for the final sequence. Now I'm going to grab a few more shots as I make my way up to the top of this beautiful location, and when I get to the top I'm going to capture an epic orbit shot which will hopefully make the perfect end shot to this sequence. Now, I've set my drone to a high orbit at 20 feet, but there's a lot of wind here today and the drone really doesn't like it. But I really wanted to get this shot. Okay, second go. You got this. Have you got this? Have you got this? I think she's gonna go for it. Okay, I'm gonna come down here and walk up as it's orbiting. I got this great shot as I climbed onto these rocks. The camera did a full 360-degree orbit, revealing the incredible views. There was a bit of wind, the shot wasn't perfectly smooth, but definitely usable for the final sequence. Come on, little fella. That's it. Good work, good work. Come on in. Look at that, perfect landing. Sweet. Okay, so we've definitely captured enough footage to create a short cinematic sequence. Let's take a look at that now and see the results. what did you think of that sequence? Do you think most would assume that I had help capturing those shots, or could you tell that it was shot completely solo? Do let me know in the comments section below. Do let me know what you think of that final sequence as well as this drone. I'd love to know your thoughts. So, who is this drone for? Well, if you're someone that's after the best image quality possible and a drone that flies 1,000 feet in the air, then this drone definitely isn't for you. But if you're someone who's looking for ease and convenience, a drone that fits in your pocket, flies completely by itself, making the whole filming process incredibly easy and fun, especially when shooting solo, then this drone could very well be for you. So I will link the HoverAir X1 in the description below. And if you'd like to learn more about solo filmmaking, then be sure to watch this video here where I show you how to shoot solo B-roll using your smartphone. But that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I'm going to get out of here. I think there's a storm coming. I will see you in the next video.